I'm going to do a little review on this Promag Archangel side saddle. Here's the box right here. It's a 7-round side saddle. Shell carrier is what they call it. This is for the Remington 870. I think this review will echo the other models, as far as like the Mossberg 500, 590, stuff like that. I'm not sure what other models they make it for, but I know the 870 and 500, 590. As far as the 870, pretty much all you got to do is push the pins out and then insert the new pins as you're pushing the old pins out. There's some other reviews, people showing you how to do it. This one takes 5 minutes at the most. It takes you longer to find your little hammer and than anything. It's very simple to install. I think the Mossberg is a little more in depth. You got to do a couple other things. I remember putting a tack star on one of my Mossbergs a long time ago, and I didn't really care for it. If you look at this, and whenever I say didn't care for it, I mean the tack star. When you look at this one from the side, you see how I got the shells oriented, which is down. Whenever you have a shell carrier like this, a side saddle, and you put the shells like this, it makes sense because you take one out and you can put it up in there. Okay, that's fine and dandy until you start shooting the gun. Once you start shooting the gun, then you realize the recoil will actually make these fall out because they're only held on by the tension that the round hole has in the beginning. And all shotgun shells are not created equal. Some of them, are different sizes, thicknesses, blah, 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 blah. These are just snap caps right here. These are dummy rounds. But they represent one type of shell. But the really cool thing about this carrier, it's both good and bad, is you can see these little Allen head keys for each shell. You can actually put tension on the shells. That's, in my opinion, a very cool thing because, like I said, those other ones that don't have tension, and some of them may be better than others. I've only tried the tack star, and you have to put the shell like this, up facing, which is fine, but it takes a second longer to pull it out this way and come underneath the gun, or whichever way you do it. But you can see you got to put a little bit of force on them, and I do believe this will hold a lot firmer, and it's user adjustable. So the only bad thing about this is you can see it sticks out quite a bit further. Is that a deal breaker? No, obviously I bought it, but keep in mind that whenever you're putting it in your case, in your safe, anytime you add something like this, even if it's not this one, just a regular side saddle that doesn't have these tension screws on it, that's going to take up space. Like I said, is that a deal breaker? Not for me. I knew it going into buying this that it was gonna be wide, and you can see that it is. It's very wide. But the trade-off is you got individual tension on each one of those. I wish they could make it a little bit thinner. I think they could probably make it a little bit thinner. But for the price of under $30, just about everywhere I looked, anywhere from $25 to $30 for this, I think this is an excellent choice. I was just kind of messing around with it. And I'll show you these. It's got Allen head screws that go in the pins to keep the pins from coming out, so you won't have to worry about these pins walking out on you. But the Allen head for the it's got a small one, small pin, and a larger pin. The smaller pin takes the smaller Allen head, and it's a screw that you just screw in there with the Allen head. But it also works these. So if you want to tighten it up, turn it to the right, and that would put even more tension on it. If you want to loosen it up, turn it to the left. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. about as simple as that. So, and most people have Allen wrenches, but it does come with both Allen keys. Once you get done with these, you can put them up in a drawer or something. Add them to your collection, whatever. But yeah, I think it's a pretty cool side saddle. I mean, side saddles can be upwards of $100 depending on which ones you get. Are they worth it? They may be better. I've never really tried those. They may hold the shells a whole lot better. But you can buy 3 or 4 of these for one of those really, really expensive ones. So you have to ask yourself, is it worth the extra money, and are they in fact better? I don't know. I've only used the Tac Stars. I might have used a different brand too, but I was never real satisfied with them. Even if you turn the gun upside down, you can take them and pull them like this and throw them in there. It's much easier than pulling them this way and throwing them in. They're oriented in this position to go in the gun much quicker. And again, even that isn't necessarily a deal breaker, but like I said, under recoil, you'll notice on some of the other ones as you start firing, this is what will start happening to the shell until they all come out, and that's not what you want to have happening to your shells on the side of your gun. And that's exactly what I've had happen before numerous times. And even with these on the barrels, these clamps right here for the magazine extensions, under recoil, what happens is they'll start walking forward. So keep that in mind too. These shotguns recoil significantly. If you're not used to stuff like that, it can greatly affect you once you start shooting the shotgun. My Mossberg, I had a clamp for a flashlight on there, and I shot the gun, and immediately it started walking off. After about 3 or 4 shots, it did darn near flew off. So what I did was I tightened it down. Makes sense to tighten it down. After I tightened it down, I started loading the gun, and lo and behold, I could only get five out of the 7 shells in the gun because it was an extended magazine. What I had done is I had tightened it down too much, and it was clamping down on the magazine tube, which is much thinner than these. I don't think you'll have a problem out of the Remington. I think this is a choke, much thicker, metal on this. The other ones I did just thin metal on the Mossberg. So I know that really isn't about a side saddle. I'm just saying, once you start firing the gun, I see some guys that have stuff on their guns, and I'm like, that's that may end up coming off. Even this one could move around, and you could take a little bit of tape and put it underneath there to try to help it lock down a little bit better. My Benelli has actually got a notch on here. If you can see that notch to keep it from walking. That's actually really cool. I don't know why all these don't have a notch. Hey, anybody out there that makes magazine extensions and stuff, put a notch on there for these. But yeah, back to the side saddle. If you're looking for this Promag Archangel, it didn't even say Promag on the thing, but I think it's made by Promag, but it's called an Archangel. It holds 7 rounds, which is more than some of them hold. A lot of them hold 4, 5, 6. 7, I would say, is a little bit above average. They do have ones that hold like 8. 7 is pretty good. Remember, every time you put an extra round on your gun and stuff, it does add weight, and this does weigh a few ounces. You can feel it, not necessarily on the gun so much, but it's good weight. It's definitely good weight, because now you have the rounds with your gun. But it is wide. Is it too wide for you? Only you can be the judge of that. It may be. They've got ones that fit much flusher. When you're looking down the sights, it definitely sticks out. So if you're, it could catch up against something. But that's also a good thing. You could rest it up against something if you're firing. You got to make a little bit more accurate of a shot. Maybe with slugs and stuff. You know, if you're up against the wall, you can put it up against like that. You know, it's probably gonna scratch your gun. So, but you know, in a life or death situation or something, it may, you know, it's not really gonna matter probably. But that's something that you can keep in mind about that. Yeah, for the money, I think it's good quality. It feels like good quality. It doesn't feel chintzy. It doesn't feel cheap. It feels good. It feels like a quality piece. I could see somebody asking $50-$60 for this. So for $25-$30, I think the only thing that you have to worry about is the width, and that's the only thing that you got to ask yourself about is the width of it too much. Other than that, I say buy it. Thanks for watching.